I'm Chris Blackwell, Executive Director of Voice of Care. Voice of Care is an independently funded organization that is connected by a history and its worldview to the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, a Christian denomination that believes all human beings have value and worth in the eyes of God. Voice of Care's mission is to equip the church to nurture people with disabilities and their caregivers in their walk with Christ. Voice of Care's governing board of directors has learned valuable lessons through the practice of governance by design, chiefly that the mission must be the heart and soul of the board's decision and actions. The mission is the board's reason for existence. In December 2013, several months after celebrating the 10th anniversary of Voice of Care and the retirement of the original executive director, the board's governance was tested. Voice of Care enthusiastically revealed a new website, jumped into the global philanthropy push for Giving Tuesday. New displays and marketing materials were on order. End of the year came and the financial goals fell short, way short. Despite a generous grant dedicated to marketing and promotion, the Voice of Care operation budget was zero. In an emergency meeting on January 4th, 2014, the board of directors met to decide the future of Voice of Care. The easy decision would have been to dissolve the non-for-profit ministry because there was no debt, there was also no assets. The outlook for organizational survival was grim, but the founding member stated aloud the thought that was on everyone's heart. The ministry must continue because there are so many people with disabilities that need spiritual care. The mission was why Voice of Care existed. Over the course of one very tough meeting, Voice of Care became a primarily volunteer-run ministry. After hours of working on an austerity budget and refocusing ministry priorities to align with the mission of Voice of Care, not only remained open, but has subsequently flourished. At the May 31st, 2014 board meeting, the financial statement reflected that $30,000 had been raised to cover needed financial reserves, and all evidence gave testimony that the new model of ministry was gaining momentum. The board stepped out in faith and voted to add additional part-time staff. The Voice of Care board of directors learned an important lesson. Staying on mission is key, and it pays off in more work being done, more support being generated, and more positive response being received. I have witnessed the Voice of Care board of directors practicing exceptional governance in several ways. One, they make hard decisions for the benefit of the mission. Reorganization, laying off, and dramatically cutting funded positions, and challenging Voice of Care to succeed with a volunteer work model. Two, they have remained mission-focused, refining the mission to reflect the reality of what Voice of Care does. The board holds the organization to that mission and ensures that the budget follows the mission. Three, they fight mission drift and have brought about a shift moving Voice of Care from programming to training, thereby maximizing the impact of the mission. Four, they are a working board. Each member is personally invested in the mission. They contribute volunteer hours, participate, and promote the ministry. They have ownership in Voice of Care. 5, they are willing to collaborate and work in partnership. Even while retaining a strong denominational identity, Voice of Care bonds with like-minded organizations to achieve common goals. The board eschews territorialism for the sake of the mission. Voice of Care's board of directors has learned that the best governance is intentional, governance by design.